Today's recipe is a great alternative to your traditional lasagna. It's called white chicken caprese lasagna. And this is what you're gonna need. Baby spinach, heavy whipping cream, mozzarella cheese, butter, grape tomatoes. I've got oven-ready lasagna, Parmesan cheese, ricotta cheese, Caprese glaze, olive oil for cooking spray in your pan, flour, fresh egg. I've got salt and pepper, garlic, and fresh basil. I'm adding ricotta cheese, Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and 1 egg. And I'm going to combine this together and then set it aside. So I have a lasagna story for you guys, and I'm not sure if I've ever told this story to Mark, or if I did, it was a really long time ago. But the first time I moved out on my own, which meant no roommates of any kind, I was in the smallest apartment you've ever seen because the kitchen, the so-called dining room, and living room were practically all one room. And I decided I want to make lasagna because I like lasagna. So I made a full sheet of lasagna for myself. Well, who's going to eat all this except for me? So for about a week, I ate lasagna for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was delicious. I liked it a lot, but by the end of the week, I was really tired of lasagna. And that was before there was very many cooking shows. There certainly wasn't YouTube where they talked about cutting recipes in half, which would have been great for me, but I didn't do that. I had a whole sheet of lasagna. So now I've learned to cut down. All right, this is all mixed together. We're going to set this aside and then go on to the next layer. Now we're working on our next layer of our lasagna. I've heated the stove and I'm going to be adding butter and minced garlic. This is our white creamy sauce. Got 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt. And I've prepped all my other stuff so it's ready to go. And another funny story is when I made this earlier in the week and I used this whisk and somehow I bumped it. The whisk went flying, cream sauce went on the stove and down onto the floor. It was a loss. Okay, gonna add our 2 minced garlic, 2 cloves of minced garlic. I'm just gonna cook that for maybe 30 seconds. Now you can adjust the quantities. I've made some adjustments from the original recipe to more how we like it.
Ooh, that garlic smells good.
It does smell good. So now I'm going to be careful with this whisk because I want to make sure it doesn't go flying. We're going to start thickening up with our flour. Wow. I'm going to turn it down even lower. My stove always runs hot as well as my oven. Now I forgot to mention this when I was showing all the ingredients. I forgot to mention the milk. So we're going to add that slowly and just keep whisking.
What kind of milk is that, Ricotta?
Well, that would be whole milk, Mark, because that's what you requested, whole milk. I was going to do low-fat milk.
Low-fat milk, skim milk, it's a lie. As Ron Swanson would say.
Yeah. And what show is that from?
Parks and Rec.
Oh. I've never seen that show. Okay, again, I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. So the instructions say to spill milk as you do this, in case you're wondering. All right, so now it's getting nice and smooth. I'm gonna add the whipping cream. Same thing, I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. We don't want any lumps in our sauce. Oh, actually, I forgot another ingredient too.
What's that?
Our chicken. Because how could it be white chicken caprese lasagna without chicken?
I'm standing in the middle of the kitchen. I see no chicken.
That's right, because it's in the fridge.
How are you gonna make that magic happen?
You mean like that? I'll get that out in just a minute. Now the chicken's already cooked and shredded and seasoned, so it's ready to go. All right. Next, I'm going to add our freshly shredded mozzarella cheese because that's how I roll. Obviously, as I get older, I forget things. Get the rest of the mozzarella out. I found this recipe on another YouTuber's channel called Feeding the Birds, Amber. I've done other of her recipes before. We really like them. We're just making slight changes to how we like it. Okay, we have salt and pepper. Lower it down some water. Spinach. Now, of course, the recipe will be in the description box. What do you think, Mar? Do we want even more spinach? Or is this good?
Looks good.
I think it looks good too. And then our freshly torn basil. This just smells so good. I'm really excited about the basil plant. I just got that in the grocery store today. Normally I get it in prepackaged form, but I wanted to give it a try. All right, that's what we're looking for. That looks fabulous.
I think it needs a little more pepper.
A little more. Okay, excuse me. All right, is that acceptable?
Perfect.
I'm cutting the cherry tomatoes. Depending on the size of yours, you cut them in half or you could cut them in fourths. And if you want to use a different kind of tomato, that would be fine too. All right, we're ready to layer our lasagna. So I'm going to spray our pan. Now, if you're doing the full recipe, of course, you'd do a 9x13 pan. And then, like a typical lasagna, you're going to put some sauce in the bottom. This is really hot, so I'm going to have to move it closer for just a minute. And then what I like to do is just spread it around this way. So you get some in all the corners. Okay, now we can start layering. But first I need my cheat sheet. I want to make sure I didn't forget any of the layers, so I wrote it down. All right, we have our sauce. Now these are no-cook noodles. Big time saver. So we'll put those on the bottom. We're going to add our ricotta mixture and spread that around. Now if you decide to do it in a different order, it's going to be fine. It's not going to matter. And just spread that around. And our next layer is the chicken. Now, I've cooked this chicken, I seasoned it, and I shredded it just for this recipe. But I always like to have some of this on hand for anything. If I'm making soup or to add it to it, just make a chicken salad, anything else, I always have some cooked chicken on hand. Now we'll start over again with our sauce. And spread that around. And then noodles. All right. And you're just going to keep going like this. All right, that looks good already. And it hasn't even gone into the oven. All right, we'll continue with chicken. Now the amount of chicken you want to add is up to you. Spread this around.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side to side, our fears are done.
Now our noodles. This is what's left of our sauce. I want to get every last bit of it. Now, if you were doing the full recipe, this is going to cook for 45 minutes. We're going to have to judge here. It might be the same, might be a little less. Here's another 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese. There we go. But let's not take any chances. Tomatoes. All right, going in. It's a thing of beauty. Yum. I'm hungry. The moment of truth. Ooh. Lightly browned on top. Now, if you needed to, you could cover it with aluminum foil if yours is getting too dark. So now we have to wait 20 to 25 minutes to let it set up. For the final step, I'm going to add the basil, which I just shredded up from my plant. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Okay, now the caprese glaze. Look at that. Makes it look so fancy. And we love Caprese glaze. Doesn't it look great? White chicken Caprese lasagna.
It does.
So now I'm gonna cut it. We let it sit 25 minutes. Might need a knife to get me started. There we go.
I wish you could smell the basil.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So just like a typical lasagna, it has to sit and firm up. My noodle. There we go. I don't think I cut all the way through. And like so much Italian food, I'm sure it's even better tomorrow night. There we go.
Beautiful cheesiness.
A little cheese pull going on there.
Yum. Caprese means, or caprese. Caprese means fresh tomatoes, basil, and mozzarella.
Which we love. So of course, the longer you can let it sit, the better it'll set up.
And you make a nice caprese salad, which is tomatoes, basil, and
We'll link that recipe, that video for you.
that sliced buffalo mozzarella.
There we go. Help me out here. Oh,
Noodle down.
noodle down. Oh my gosh, I gotta get it now.
I think we're gonna have to cut this.
Yep. Now, if you decide you don't want to use the chicken in it, that's fine. It's just another part of the flavor. Try not to take such a large piece. Okay, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, go for it, go for it. No?
Oh, wait.
Okay. All right. Wow, very nice.
That's excellent.
What do you think of the tomatoes in the middle with the Caprese glaze?
I like it.
Adds more flavor. And actually, we might add more Caprese glaze on top of this.
I like the fresh basil.
Definitely.
I like that the chicken is shredded. It makes it easier to eat, in
Right.
particular in this configuration of lasagna.
I do too. Yeah.
Nice.
Happy with how it turned out. And I'm glad I made those changes too.
This comes close to, was it the manicotti Florentine?
Oh yeah.
That was pretty epic.
That was.
This is delicious as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I think you guys will enjoy it too. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And like I said, we'll link that other video for you guys. So take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.